Hello, guys, and welcome back to the 10th episode of Aligned Identity. We made it. So, today's a bit of a milestone for me, and I didn't have a guest lined up this week, which next week I do. A very exciting one that I've been wanting to have for a while. But today is something special, and this marks the 10th episode, and I was thinking that I've really never relayed my goals or my ambitions with this channel, with this year. I talked about how you should be planning that and ways to contradict some of your pitfalls and things like that. So today, I'm going to give you guys a little run through of my goals for this channel, for my health, for my social um, relationships and functions, um, for my financial focuses. Um, a lot of things kind of overlap with maybe some of the pitfalls that I face, but I kind of will break them down and kind of talk about what may be preventing me from accomplishing the goals that I have in mind. And nothing better than to start with this channel right here. So I'm speaking it out loud. I'm making it known. By the end of the year, I would love to have 1,000 subscribers. That's ambitious, right? Right now, as recording, I have 24 subscribers. 24 valued subscribers, I should add. But my goal is to have 1,000. I think it's important to aim for a goal that might seem unattainable now, but with consistency, and it's only been about 70 days or whatever from the beginning of the year. I started literally, I guess it's been a little more than 70, call it 90, but it's been 3 months of consistent uploading, except for 1 week where I was down bad with the flu. So for me, we may not be growing huge numbers right now, but to reach this goal, I really have to add in better quality videos. I have to continue to add in shorts and continue to have on great guests. That's my kind of plan as far as growing this channel, getting better at socials and things like that. I really care about the content going into everything, and I think having good guests line up, which I'm working on. I already have one lined up for next week, but continuing that snowball of adding interesting guests, having good conversations, making good content for this channel and for you guys to hopefully learn from every conversation I have. And then from there, post clips of the channels to continue to have people be able to find this content and be able to help other people and entertain whatever needs need to be met with this channel. That's what I started this for. Anybody can take away whatever they want. I don't always have guests and talk about very sciencey, very health habit oriented stuff. I do try to implement it a little bit and ask questions, but I really intend to bring on good people with good stories who are going to at least maybe give you something to learn from. So that's the way I want to grow the channel, is by having good content and continue to get better at editing, and shorts is going to be huge. I just posted my first short yesterday, which is, I'm recording this on Thursday. You should get this tomorrow, which will be Friday. Check out my short. You should have another one too. There should be two by the time this is uploaded. But those things are very good at exposing the channel to new audiences. And I know that that's a great avenue for me to grow. And then, of course, I want to stay consistent at my posting. It's very important. I think if I were to go weeks without posting, we're not going to grow as fast as I want, and it's not going to be the effort that I want to give into this thing, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at. But just as I alluded to, if I were to take weeks off and not be consistent, that would be a detriment to this channel. So some of the goals or some of the um, pitfalls that would prevent me from growing this channel in the way that I want to is lack of dedication, laziness, and a lack of vision, right? The lack of motivation is me not having a lineup that I enjoy or a topic that I want to talk about. That would be a hindrance to this channel because you're not going to get the top tier content that I want to produce. So for me, I have to be very conscious and aware of when I'm not giving my 100%. Also with that, if I'm not thinking about the future and thinking about the kind of content I want to produce, it's going to make it harder for me to have the motivation to want to do these things, right? I still have to have the long-term vision and the motivation to put this wonderful creation together, right? So those are things that I know I need to be aware of. And when I become complacent or when I become lazy, I need to really self-analyze that and recognize when I'm not giving my 100%. And if there's an episode that I don't feel good about, then I'm not going to post it. And I'm going to re-record something with a lot more motivation, a lot more focus, a lot more heart into it, right? And so those are things that I have to be conscious of. And I already have kind of labeled what they are. And I know what to kind of look out for when I'm giving half-assed work. Because this channel isn't going to grow if I'm just putting out half-assed work. And this podcast isn't going to be what I want it to be. And that's not going to fulfill me. And it's going to waste everyone's time if I'm not giving you guys really good content. And so that's where I know I'm not going to be true to myself if I'm not really putting in 100%. So that's going to kind of wrap up that. You guys know my goals now. 1,000 subscribers, all right? So every like, every subscription that you guys have on Spotify or YouTube, I appreciate it so much. Every like, every comment, it's going to help tremendously. And I can't thank you guys enough. Brandon's episode got like the most interactions, the 8 likes and 4 comments. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the stuff and promoting it, honestly, and sharing it wherever you may be. I would love for this podcast to come into someone's life at the right time. And without you guys supporting it, someone may miss out. So on to the next thing I kind of want to talk about, which is going to be my health. All right. My health goals for this year is to kind of continue what I've been doing, but to kind of optimize it in a way. The first thing I have to do, and some of these things will overlap because it's in the nature of the problem, and it's, I have eaten out a little more than I would like to. I probably eat in 5 days out of the week, but then eat out 2 days of the week. Or, I eat in 4 days of the week, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm eating out, There are healthy choices, but most likely your best food choice is going to be made in your kitchen because you know exactly what goes into it. You know what kind of oils are being used. You know what kind of content. You know what kind of nutritional value you're creating for yourself. And I think that's really important. You get to measure how much sodium. You get to measure everything about it, how many fats, all your macros. So I think that's really important to pay attention to. And for me, that's something I really want to focus on this year, is not eating out and really take cooking very seriously and focus on the long-term benefits of it, and even like the physical aspect of it, making sure I'm getting my protein that I need, and gaining the muscle that I want to, getting as lean as I can for summer. That's my goal. Another big thing to combine with that is I really need to do better at getting the proper amount of cardio, and in particular running. For you guys, I have a mini marathon in May, and I've not properly been training for that. I was doing really well in January, consistently running at least like 4 times a week, but guess what? I only did it for 2 weeks. And then I would like maybe run once on the 3rd week and once on the 4th week. And then the treadmill got put up to put this studio together. And I never really got back into the cycle of continuing that journey and making it into a habit, a lifestyle. I'll be honest with you, hate running. But I know there's so many benefits that you get from it. Zone 2 cardio is really important. There's a lot of like studies on that, and to get better workouts, you need to have the cardio to be able to like have that amount of like reps, that amount of workload, right? If you can't breathe when you're doing a set, you're not going to be able to lift it. Even though your muscles may not be fatigued, you're fatigued. So that's a big aspect that I really want to work on, is increasing my endurance and getting better at running consistently, because I know it's going to help me in the long term more than anything else. Even past the muscle mass, I could have all the muscles in the world, but if I can't run down the block, that's an issue. And so that's something I really want to work on this year. It's really important to me. And then another thing is, indulging in extracurriculars. And like, when I say that, I mean, I view alcohol as a drug. And the way it affects your body is nothing short of negative. It's a toxin. Like, it truly is. And our society has accepted it for what it is. And, it's okay to drink because it's legal. But even in other faiths and religions, they forbid drinking. And I think it's for a reason, because it's only poison to your mind. I hate to demonize drinking all the time, because I will still enjoy a drink. I'm not completely going to limit and cut that out of my life, but I do want to certainly pick my opportunities and occasions effectively. And, even an opportunity this weekend came up where it's St. Patrick's Day this weekend, and I don't want to be in that environment. I don't want to be in a holiday just based on drinking. That does not sound like a good opportunity for me to use moderation. And it doesn't sound like a good environment for someone who wants to focus on not drinking, right? And it's not a good occasion, because what are we celebrating other than drinking? So, with that being said, that's kind of my health goals for this year. And, again, just like I'll do with everything, the list of pitfalls are obvious. Socially, it's difficult to not drink. With friends, I had another podcast about this, but I think it's really important to not fall into peer pressure, and I need to do a better job of not feeling that pressure and not putting myself in the environment of that, because half a discipline is environment. It's the environment that you put yourself in. So if you're consciously putting yourself in a situation where we're celebrating drinking, more than likely your discipline is going to be stressed to the point where it's like, okay, maybe one beer and then one shot, and the snowball effect that normally happens. So being conscious of that and not falling into the peer pressures of having to drink in social situations. That's something that I really want to focus on. But I know it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy to tell my friends, no, I can't drink, or, no, I don't want to do a shot. It's going to be a learning process for me, and it has been, and it should be for everyone. That's part of the everyday life. We're learning every day to get better, to improve, to optimize. And the other, to go back on the food aspect, it's very comforting to know you could just have food even delivered to your door. And there is a lot of comfort in that. Not having to, clean dishes, not having to prep all your food, not having to do all these things. And, I could meal prep for the entire week, and that would take the prep out of it. But also, is my food too bland? That's a conversation I actually had with Brandon not too long ago, where he was saying, I could palate almost anything. He made food for himself for the week, but by day 3, he was like, dude, I got to work on cooking, because my food, he's like, my palate, I could almost eat anything, but gosh, it's not tasty. It's not as good as the food, all around my area. I could have an app deliver delicious, wonderful, nutrient, carb, galore, right? Just delivered to your door. But it's not going to lead to a consistent, healthy lifestyle if you're just always eating out, because you're not controlling all the things that go into it. If you buy healthy food from the store, you get to put all those healthy things together to give yourself an optimal meal. And for me, I feel the stresses just like everyone else does of work, relationships, and sometimes there's no better feeling than just having food. Again, delicious food delivered to your door or picked up on the way home, and knowing that that's taken out of the way and you get to sit on the couch with your loved one or dining room, whatever it may be, and enjoy a delicious food. A delicious meal, I should say. That's something that I have to overcome and work on, not letting that impulse get to me, and also be better about meal prepping and having an idea, giving myself other meals to eat than the one meal that I made. A friend of mine, when he meal preps, he makes 2 meals for the week so he can alternate or eat one that he really likes, eat the other another day. Maybe one has a bit more goodies in there. Maybe it has some fries or something that you made. And the other one is going to be just your rice, broccoli, chicken. Giving yourself some variety is important in a week. And I've realized that, I have limited my meals, and I think that also gives me the impulse to have some diversity to my meals, and makes me think, if I just went here, I could have something different. And that's something I have to work on. So, again, kind of went through some of my issues that I see myself falling into, but identifying them and analyzing when I have those feelings or impulses to do the bad habit, I can analyze okay, this is why I'm feeling this way, and have I done the proper steps to prevent this? If I'm not having enough opportunities or enough options for me to change up my meals, then maybe I'm going to eat out. So I need to really take some time for the week and decide what meals I can eat every day, or what healthy snacks I can have around that will get me by dinner. You know, those are things that I have to work on. And otherwise, I won't accomplish my goals and I'll fall back into bad habits. So, um, one other thing that's going to kind of fall into a similar category with some of these things is going to be the next thing is going to be a social goal. And for me, I kind of just was thinking about like the friends that I have and my family too. Um, this past year, I felt even a little distant with some of my family and even my closest to family. And they know who they are. We've talked about it. Um, and I feel like things are on the up. Like, we spoke our piece and I think we've moved on. And, I really need family. And I recognize that. And, I want to continue the great relationship I have with my wife, continue developing our relationship. Um, and with other friends, it's been a little more difficult to get aligned because your friends may not always want to do what you want to do. And that's difficult, or live the way that you want to live. And so it's finding a give and take of, like, hey man, I want to get together, let's go do this. But, doing this is a bad environment for me to neglect my health goal or, other values that I have. So really maneuvering that is going to be difficult, but it's something I really need to focus on with my friend groups. I think, again, one of the downfalls is going to be peer pressure when I'm with friends. Kind of explaining like, hey, this is not my values and I need you to respect that. And good friends will. They might dog you a little bit, but at the end of the day, they respect you and understand where you stand and are fine with having you as a friend as you are, because that's what builds you, are your values. With friends and family, it is another thing that I've realized is like it's difficult to find time for friends and family. Normal day-to-day life, everyone's busy. Everyone has work. Everyone has their own problems, their own things. But it's still important to, find a weekend you're free. This is something that I was thinking about, when I feel so busy. It's like, no, find a weekend I'm free and just reach out. Be like, hey, man, do you want to hang out this weekend? Or, hey, like, let's reconnect. And it's important to not also fall into the trap of, like, a slight, I would say, like, a slight introverted mode where I can tend to be sometimes. Like, for instance, like, if I haven't seen friends in a while, it's hard to kind of go back out and be with friends. Sometimes I become introverted and just don't really want to go out all the time. And I have to recognize that, but also kind of flex like a discipline there where it's like, hey, like maybe you don't feel like going out, but you should. Like, you should go see people. You should be out. You should go do things. And that's something that is hard to override, especially like when there's so much things to do at home, or, I could spend time doing anything at home, relaxing, doing my thing, feeling comfortable. But without people in a community, it can feel very lonely. And so it's important to analyze when I need time with friends and set that time aside. And so if I have a weekend with nothing and my wife and I don't feel like doing anything, reach out to someone and see what they're doing that weekend. Build that community. And that's my intention this year. And, you know, I'm going to finish my goals off with the financial goals. And now this is going to vary for everyone, right? This is me telling you my goals, my ambitions this year. I've had a consistent saving plan for a while now. I can't even put a finger on it. Consistently, like taking a certain amount of money, putting it in my savings account every month without even like batting an eye. Like it's just set in stone. That's how much money I'm going to dedicate to my savings account. That's been really good for me. That's been really consistent. And I want to continue doing that. That's not seemed like a problem for me. But where things overlap is, again, when I brought up my health about eating out. I feel like I spend so much money when I eat out that it starts, one, taking away from my health goals, but also my financial goals. Almost my financial goals like worse than my health goals, because I work out enough where I don't see the complete negatives of the health goals, right? I can eat a 3,000 calorie meal and probably not see it. But that financial goal, whew, couple Uber Eats, a couple nights out on the town, destroyed. You know, like you'll feel terrible Monday when you pull up your bank account and you're like, ooh, I spent that much this weekend on food. So that's something I need to limit. And the first thing I need to do that is immediately delete apps associated with that. Delete any app that is going to deliver food to your door, so it makes it that much harder for you to get to something like that. I don't see having it on your phone, or, you know, I know you can do it through the computer, but at least log yourself out. Like, do something to try to mitigate that ability to easily, impulsively order food, especially if you have food at home that you prepped. Because, like, if you are tired, if you are stressed, you're more likely to be impulsive and make decisions like that. And so I know for me in the future, if I want to start saving more money and taking care of my financial future, I can't waste it on $50, $60, $70 Uber Eats order, right? So that's kind of my goals. I won't get into too many specifics of my financial situation, but for you, I would really encourage, if you don't have a saving plan set up, if you don't have an idea or budget, I would really encourage you to start doing that. Even if it's just into a savings, you don't have to like know anything about investing or anything like that. It's important just to have a plan and start putting that together so you can have your own financial freedom at some point in your life, because you put a plan in place. You know how much your bills are. You know how much you can spend to food. You know how much disposable income you would have after all of that stuff. Put a plan in place. And, after years of a plan, you will see the benefits, and you can spend that money however you feel, but at least you have a plan and you saved up to a certain point. And that's so important. Coming from the kid who literally has had like $2 in his bank account and like going to Taco Bell and ordering like $1 menu thing. Like, I used to be so bad. And so once I finally started putting a plan together and stopped making impulsive purchases and thinking about things, it can really change your financial future. So I encourage you, if you haven't created a plan for your financial future, start a savings account and take control of that, because it will relieve some stress, because you already know how much you're spending a month. You already know how your money's being distributed after your paycheck, whatever it may be. So, anyways, guys, that's my goals for this year. I really appreciate all the love and support from this channel. I hope I keep putting out banger content for everyone to have. Gosh, the sky's the limit for 2024. And, even if I don't hit these goals, that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop pursuing them. At the end of the year, if I don't see 1,000 subscribers, it could be just 50. But if I know I put the effort in and I know that I'm learning and I'm becoming better at this, then that's progress. And that's the important part. It's not the number that you see or the end product. It's the journey to get there. And you understanding that you're growing in the process. And you might have had a high goal, a high bar set. You may have fell short, but if you learned a lot of things in the process, then that's success. That's growth. And that's going to benefit you long term and exponentially grow and become a more fulfilled, well-rounded, understanding person. So, guys, thanks so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Make sure to like those clips and take care. See you guys.